Chapter 14. After sinking into bankruptcy and having to be bailed out by the United States government, General Motors amazingly regained its position as the world's largest automaker in 2011. Leaders have been praised for making tough decisions that have led to impressive financial results, bringing out new models that connect with customers, and fixing a myriad of operational and systems issues. However, there is one area in which CEO Dan Akerson and other leaders admit significant challenges remain: changing the bureaucratic, tradition-bound culture that crippled GM in the past. Like leaders in other companies, GM executives are finding that changing culture is the toughest part of leading a turnaround. One of Akerson's goals is to get more women into top jobs, partly because he believes they can lead the radical culture change the company needs. He's off to a good start. The auto industry in general is male-dominated, and there's no job more associated with machoism than the job of creating and engineering new cars. Akerson picked a woman, and moreover a former head of human resources, to be head of product development. Mary Barra, who has held positions in various parts of the company over her 32 years with GM, is now the highest-ranking woman in the global auto industry, and she is helping remake the rule-bound, dysfunctional culture from ground up. As head of the HR, Barra cut the rules for on-the-job apparel in 2 words: dress appropriately. If she can use her new position in charge of product development to enact similar broad changes that speed decision-making, GM has a chance to soar. Successful leaders recognize that culture is a core element in helping the organization meet strategic goals and attain the vision. Leaders align people with the vision by influencing organizational culture and shaping the environment that determines morale and performance. In this chapter, you will learn to understand why shaping culture is a vital function of leadership. Recognize the characteristics of a responsive as opposed to a resistant culture. Know how to establish a high-performance culture by paying attention to both values and results. Understand and apply how leaders shape culture and values through ceremonies, stories, symbols, language, selection, and socialization and daily actions. Identify the cultural values associated with adaptability, achievement, involvement, and consistency cultures, and the environmental conditions associated with each. Act as a values-based leader and instill healthy values in the organizational culture, and apply the principles of spiritual leadership to help people find deeper life meaning, and a sense of membership through work. Corporate culture is powerful because it affects a company's performance for better or for worse. A shifting environment often calls for new values and fresh approaches to doing business. Most leaders now understand that when a company's culture fits the needs of its external environment and company strategy, employees can create an organization that's tough to beat. Some people think of culture as a character or a personality of an organization. Culture can be defined as a set of key values, assumptions, understandings, and norms that is shared by the members of an organization and taught to the new members as correct. Norms are shared standards that define what behaviors are acceptable and desirable within a group of people. At its most basic, culture is a pattern of shared assumptions and beliefs about how things are done in an organization. Culture can be thought of as consisting of 3 levels, as this illustration exhibits. With each level becoming less obvious. At the surface level are visible artifacts such as manner of dress, patterns of behavior, physical symbols, organizational ceremonies, and the office layout. All the things one can see, hear, and observe by watching members of the organization. A deeper level of culture are the expressed values and beliefs, which are not observable but can be discerned from how people explain and justify what they do. These are values that members of the organization hold at a conscious level. Some values become so deeply embedded in a culture that organizational members may not even be consciously aware of them. Assumptions generally start out as expressed values, but over time they become more deeply embedded and less open to question. Organization members take them for granted and often are not even aware of the assumptions that guide their behavior, language, and patterns of social interaction. Culture gives employees a sense of organizational identity and generates a commitment to particular values and ways of doing things. Culture serves two important functions in organizations. It integrates members so that they know how to relate to one another, and it helps the organization adapt to the external environment. Culture helps employees develop a collective identity and know how to work together effectively. Culture can imprint a set of unwritten rules inside employees' minds. Culture determines how the organization meets goals and deals with outsiders. The right cultural values can help the organization respond rapidly to customer needs or the moves of a competitor. Culture can encourage employee commitment to the core purpose of the organization, its specific goals, and the basic means used to accomplish goals. The culture should embody the values and assumptions needed by the organization to succeed in its environment. All effective cultures encourage adaptation to the environment in order to keep the organization healthy and profitable.